What up, what up? It's your boy AD, and that's all day. Turn up for the family, turn up for the squad, turn up for everybody that's your motherfucking know. You see me all up here in the spot. What if I just talk to people like that? You see me up in here, about to talk about shit, about to talk about big niggas, about to talk about big girls. Wouldn't that be crazy? Alright, let me stop playing with y'all though. But yeah, man. Y'all already know by the title of this video. What's up? I'm back. Y'all already know what it is, man. And I'm finna talk about how messed up it is. Then the fact that women can be fat, but men can't. And I'm just gonna touch this issue, touch this topic real quick, and I'm gonna give y'all some good, ideas about the reality of this situation and how unfair it is, because I find this to be very unfair for a man, and I also find this bogus towards women because it's like they're coming at women, but I'm finna just break it down real quick. Alright, my sword's falling down and shit. Alright, so the reason why I'm bringing this up, because yes, this is really messed up. We live in a world, right, where they tell women like, hey, if you put on weight and this and that, that's fine, that's you, be proud of yourself. You hear that a lot with women these days. Like, I'm big and this and that, be proud of yourself. Like, I'm proud of myself because I'm big and all this and that. Now, I'm not saying ain't nothing wrong with liking who you are and what you about. Like, ain't nothing wrong with liking who you are. But the problem is why are they pushing that on y'all, and why are they not doing the same thing to men? Now that's the problem. As you know, it's always some talk around here. Oh, this woman's getting fat shamed. She's getting fat shamed. This and that. But you don't never hear about guys getting fat shamed, though. Like, do you ever hear about guys getting fat shamed? It's like a guy can be big and they'll talk about him all day and won't nobody say nothing. Won't nobody call that fat shaming. If anything, they'll say that's funny or it's just a joke. Like, oh, let's talk about him and his weight. Because you see, they preach to women all the time. Oh, if you want to be big, then go ahead. If especially when it comes to relationships, like they're even teaching women that if you want to put on more pounds and your man come around and he say, hey, you putting on some pounds, they want women to think that the guy is the problem. Like, I'm not even lying. And that's not good, because if somebody's willing to tell you the truth about something and not be afraid of how you react, that mean they care. The people that come around you and don't say nothing about anything wrong that you do, that mean they don't give a damn. That mean they just using you and probably talk mess about you and anything that you do once you leave and go behind their back. So I just find this very, very unfair how women can be big and they're accepted, but a man be big and it's fucked up. Like, now let's look into the dating aspect of this. A woman can be overweight, big, and still get men chasing after her and giving her attention. A guy can be big and overweight and he'll probably barely ever see a date in his life. And I'm just being honest, because I used to be big myself, especially when I was younger. I started putting on weight when I was probably about like 9, 10. I think a lot of people went through this. About like 9, 10, that's when I started putting on weight. And I was kind of big up to when I was about 14. And I remember I still remember it to this day. I used to hate myself. I used to not like that. That's how you should feel, because, being big is not healthy, number one. That's number one. It's not healthy. And number two, majority of the time, it's not attractive. Now, I'm not saying there isn't any big people around here who look good, because I know it is. Even I like big girls. I'm not even going to lie. I do. I like big girls, especially the cute ones, and the ones that aren't sloppy. Because that's the problem with being big. Because a lot of times when you get big and you get overweight, you become sloppy. And I'm not saying all the time, but majority of the time. And that's why it's not good to really do it in the first place. Because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So I don't want to make it sound like, well, if you're big, you're ugly. Because I don't believe that's true. Or always necessarily true. But, you know what I'm saying? It's still like health purposes. And overall, people will still probably find you least attractive. Now, think about that for a man. Like, just literally think about that. If you're a dude and and you're big as hell, what's the odds of you getting a girl? You probably won't get a girl. And the only way you probably will get a girl is if you got a lot of money. And I'm just keeping it real with you, because I'm just looking back at my life, and I'm thinking about all the big dudes that I know, and I'm being honest, I've never really seen any of them dudes in any real relationships or anything real, or I've never seen any of the big guys that I know actually really get a lot of women unless they got a lot of money. Now, if they got money or they're big liars, or you better be a big liar, because we know that's what a lot of dudes do, could just lie to these women, because you know a lot of women already just, you know, only looking for superficial shit, and dudes know that, you know. But let's get to the point though, and just let you know, like, hey, that's so unfair. Like, y'all understand where I'm coming from though, right? And why it's so unfair. So they're telling women, oh, it's okay, you can keep on weight, but if you're a guy, they'll shame you, laugh at you, talk about your weight and this and that. And any woman who thinks that who doesn't realize that, don't realize she's being attacked. Because why would they tell you women to do that and be okay with it? What? Because they think that you deserve that? No, they're doing that to y'all because they want to break y'all down. And this is a good way of how they break women down, by trying to pretend like they're giving you something that's going to boost you up, and in reality it's hurt you. You know, they'll lie. Oh, and another way like they how to do it is what I just said. Another way how they like to break women down is they like to give y'all stuff and do stuff for y'all that they don't do for men, and so y'all could act like it's a special privilege, like, oh, we could do this, men can't. But you're still tearing yourself down, because to even have that thought in your head about yourself just shows that you don't care about being a better you. And that's really wrong if you're big as hell, but you still out here looking for the guys that are in shape and fit. Like, I'm being very, very honest. If you came across a big girl and the big dude came past, 9 times out of 10, that girl probably ain't gonna be looking at that dude like that. Unless a dude came past who was in shape and fit, you know she gonna be trying to get that dude first. She ain't gonna be trying to pick that big dude unless that big dude got big bucks. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is the bull crap. So you telling me women can be fat, ugly, don't have no money or nothing, and they can still get dates? You know, women can be big as hell, super overweight, and still date men who are freaking much taller than them and actually in shape. That's kind of unfair, you know. That's why I say it's always so hard, you know, for a guy to do stuff like that, you know, get a date, because it's like we got to do so much, you know, and that's one of the things that for a lot of dudes kind of got to do to try to get a woman. You know, you got to stay in shape, you got to work out, you know. So even I still work out a little bit, you know, not as hard as maybe what I used to, but I still hit the weights almost every day. It's like the only days I don't do it be the days where I'm too busy to do it and I got too much stuff to do. And or I do a lot of walking too, man. I miss my bike, man. My bike done broke. I did a lot of bike riding, but lately it's just been a whole bunch of walking and stuff. But do you see them out there doing that? That's just the thing. Do you see them out there walking and bike riding and doing anything of that nature? Hmm? I don't see it. I don't even see girls riding bikes. Like, I'm gonna be honest, well, I don't even see it. I can't even remember the last time I seen a female riding a bike, unless it was a crackhead or something. Besides that, it's like I don't see it, man. Like, I'm just keeping it real. Mm, 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 mm. I'm just sitting here thinking about some other stuff too, trying to think, like, how often do you see pretty girls walking down the street? Like, how often do you see that? It's like, if you ever see a girl walking down the street, 9 times out of 10 she probably ain't gonna be cute. That's how I be feeling. I feel like all the cute ones, they so cute that they either got mothers handing them stuff or they got a dude giving them a car or something like that, so they don't have to walk up and down the street. You know, you see girls out here walking 9 times out of 10, or you see people out here walking 9 times out of 10, it's gonna probably be a whole bunch of dudes or girls that aren't that attractive. It's like the only time you ever see pretty girls walking out on the street is when they walk into their cop. That's like the only time. So I just want y'all to know it's an attack on both of us, man. And women need to recognize that. Stop thinking that these little special things that they give y'all that they know that men can't do or don't do like that. Like, stop doing that and thinking that it's for you, because it's not for you. Like saying, hey, y'all need to work now. Like, no, that wasn't for y'all. You see how y'all did that and things got worse. You see that ever since women started working, families and stuff separated. You know, when they weren't, everything was fine. You see, because if it would have happened back then if it was really bad back then, but it didn't. It didn't start happening until now when they start working. Don't be lazy, man. Like, because to me, that's encouraging women to be lazy, because they already kind of encouraging them just to do that as it is. They're already encouraging to not put in no effort in any type of relationship or anything you do. And they're even telling them, hey, if you put on weight and the guy says something about it, snap or something like that. Like, what do you mean snap? Because the dude wants something better for himself. It's mighty strange how women can always get the best, want the best, but if a dude want that or say something about it, it's a problem. And then they expect you to put up with it. Most of these relationships I be seeing nowadays be based off that. Be based off somebody wanting something for nothing, or somebody getting a way more advantage than that other person. Most of the time, men getting the fucking downfall of it. Majority of the time. Like I said, if you want to be big and you want to get a girl, you gotta freaking have a big ass freaking bankroll or be a big ass freaking liar. I've even seen situations like this before, which is it's not like the weight thing, but it's something like the weight thing. Like, I've seen a situation where a girl was like, oh, well, you know, she was dating a dude or whatever, and all of a sudden she wanted to change her hair to a specific type that dude didn't find so favorable, and then the dude would say something about it. Why? Because, like I said, if you say something to someone, but you don't cuss them out, you just be honest, that means you care. But once that dude said something, then the girl was just got all offended by it. Like, oh, I'm me. I'm happy. You should like me for me and this and that. But what if you making a mistake? You know, it's something wrong with, I mean, you got to love yourself, but still pay attention to yourself and notice your faults and things that are wrong. Like, if something is wrong with you, don't overlook it and don't think, well, I'm just the greatest and don't talk about me. I know that's wrong with me, but I love me. Like, don't do that. Then the dude will be like, dang, so this is how it is. So she want to change her hair. So she want to change her whole style and do all this stuff. And but me, I'm still rocking my same hairdo, and I'm still, you know, keeping my stuff shaped or whatever. I'm not changing my hair and doing crazy stuff and telling her to like it, but she can do it. And if I say something about it, then she got a problem. See, it's the same thing with this weight shit. You talk to a girl, she getting bigger, she putting on weight. You be like, hey, lose a few pounds. Hey, you know, I liked you when you was small. And then she get all mad, tell you like you for you. She don't want to improve herself for you. She just expects you to like her as she's obviously falling down the scale. And you like, hey, I want something better. You trying to help her out. And then she get mad. And now you got to be the one. But you're not the one overweight. And you got to be the one all this shape for her while she study getting bigger and shit. Gotta watch them, man. You gotta watch them. Because that's what it's always about. It's always about the come up for them. They're always going to talk to guys that got more than them. They're always going to talk to guys that are in better shape than them. They're always going to talk to guys who are taller than them. They're always going to talk to guys that are older than them. They're always going to talk to guys that are offering them the most. I swear, the way these women act nowadays, and I'm going to end the video with this, I promise, not all, but majority, they all act like they gotta have the best for the least. Hands down. Like, they all think that if somebody is not giving them more, then like they all think like whoever's giving them the most is the best guy. And you know that's the dumbest thing you can do in your life. It's based who's better than you by who's giving you the most. It could be somebody in your life handing you shit all day, but you think you got something, but then you go in their garage and there's a whole thing load of it. So do they really care about you? But because they're handing it to you all day, that means, oh, they must like you though, right? Okay. Because that's who they pick. They pick who they can get the most from. They can be big as hell, and you can be hard body in shape, and they still want you. And if you say, hey, lose some pounds, they get mad at you because they insecure. But in reality, as a man, we got it harder, but you don't see us bitching. But that's it. Like this video, comment 15 minutes.